Your finger hovers over the delete button, that fitness app, that business plan, that creative project you once loved. We all reach that breaking point where giving up feels like the only option left. But what if I told you that the moment you feel like quitting is actually the doorway to your greatest breakthrough? The next 10 minutes could completely change how you view motivation forever. And it's not what you think. We've all been there. The excitement of starting something new gradually fades, progress slows, doubt creeps in, and suddenly, that voice in your head whispers, maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you should quit while you're ahead. Society tells us motivation should feel good, that if we're truly meant to do something, we'll always feel driven to continue. But that's the biggest lie in personal development. What I'm about to share isn't another just push through it pep talk. This is the actual psychology behind sustainable motivation, the kind that carries you through when everything in you wants to quit. And it's something nobody talks about. Before we dive in, I want you to understand something critical. Motivation isn't a personality trait. It's not something you either have or don't have. It's a resource that can be depleted and replenished if you understand how it actually works. The methods I'm about to share have helped thousands break through their motivation barriers, including myself during the darkest period of my life. Let me show you exactly how. Principle 1. The motivation curve. Here's what nobody tells you about motivation. It naturally follows a predictable curve. When you start something new, you're riding the high of what psychologists call novelty bias. Your brain literally releases dopamine at the prospect of something new and exciting. But then comes what I call the valley of despair, that place where the initial excitement wears off, progress slows, and results aren't matching your expectations. This isn't a sign you should quit. It's actually a natural phase that everyone goes through. The people who succeed aren't the ones who never hit this valley. They're the ones who understand how to navigate through it. Think about it. How many unfinished projects do you have? How many times have you started something with excitement only to abandon it weeks later? That's not because you lack willpower. It's because nobody taught you how to cross the valley of despair. Principle 2. Motivation follows action. We've been taught that motivation works like this. Feel motivated, take action, get results. But research shows it actually works in reverse. Take action, even tiny. Experience small win, feel motivated, take more action. This is why waiting to feel motivated is the biggest trap. The truth is, motivation is the result of action, not the cause of it. Let me give you an example. When professional writers hit a block, they don't wait for inspiration. They sit down and write something, anything, because they know the action unlocks the motivation, not the other way around. This is why the 5-minute rule is so powerful. When you feel like quitting, commit to just 5 minutes of work. Our brains are wired to want to finish what we start. Once you begin, continuing becomes easier than stopping. Principle 3. Redefine your relationship with discomfort. Here's a truth that transformed my life. Discomfort isn't a sign to stop. It's a sign of growth. Think about working out. Muscle growth happens when you push past comfort. Your brain works the same way. That feeling of struggle, of wanting to quit, is often the sign that you're exactly where you need to be. But our instinct is to avoid discomfort at all costs. We've been conditioned to believe that if something feels hard, we're either not good at it, not meant for it, doing something wrong. This is simply not true. The people who achieve extraordinary things aren't those who don't feel discomfort. They're the ones who've learned to interpret discomfort differently. Try this reframing technique. Next time you feel like quitting, say to yourself, "This discomfort is the feeling of me growing stronger." It sounds simple, But this cognitive reframe activates completely different neural pathways in your brain. Principle 4, the identity shift. The most powerful motivation doesn't come from external rewards or even progress. It comes from identity. When you're trying to stay motivated based solely on outcomes, you're vulnerable to quitting when those outcomes don't come fast enough. But when your motivation is tied to who you're becoming, you can withstand almost any challenge. Instead of, I want to write a book, outcome-based, shift to, I am becoming a writer, identity-based. Instead of, I want to lose weight, outcome-based, shift to, I am becoming a healthy person, identity-based. This isn't just positive thinking, it's neuroscience. Your brain makes decisions based on maintaining consistency with your identity. Once you see yourself as the kind of person who doesn't quit, giving up becomes much harder because it conflicts with your self-image. Try this exercise. Write down 3 characteristics of the person you're becoming through this journey. Then, when motivation wanes, ask yourself, what would that person do right now? This creates an immediate shift in your perspective and taps into motivation reserves you didn't know you had. So, how do you put this into practice? Here's your motivation emergency kit for those moments when you're on the edge of giving up. The 5-minute commitment. When everything in you wants to quit, commit to just 5 more minutes. This tiny action often breaks the resistance. The progress journal. Every day, document one tiny win or progress point. On days you feel like quitting, review this journal to see how far you've come. Our brains are wired to discount progress we've already made. The environment reset. Sometimes low motivation is simply environmental. Change your physical space, the music you're listening to, or even just stand up and move for 60 seconds. This pattern interrupt can reset your motivation state. The future you visualization. Take 30 seconds to close your eyes and vividly imagine your future self who pushed through this difficult period. Feel their gratitude to you for not giving up today. The micro goal technique. Break down your next step into something so small it would be ridiculous not to do it. Don't focus on writing a chapter. Focus on writing 1 paragraph. Don't focus on a full workout. Focus on putting on your workout clothes and doing 1 set. Remember, the moments when you most want to give up are precisely when you need to lean into these techniques. These are the inflection points that separate those who achieve their dreams from those who only dream about them. Motivation isn't magic. It's not something that either happens to you or doesn't. It's a resource you can generate through specific actions and mindset shifts. The next time you feel that urge to quit, that voice telling you it's too hard or not worth it, remember, you're standing at a critical choice point. It's in these exact moments that lives are changed and extraordinary achievements are made possible. What if the breakthrough you've been waiting for is just on the other side of this motivation dip? What if your biggest regret looking back isn't failure, but giving up right before everything was about to change? I want to hear about the goals you're struggling to stay motivated with. Share in the comments. One thing you've been tempted to quit, and which of these techniques you're going to try. Your comment might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to keep going on their own journey. Remember, motivation isn't about never wanting to quit. It's about knowing what to do when that feeling comes and using it as fuel for your next breakthrough.